Hello. I know it's not a Friday, but I thought you'd like this, the way I do the odd bonus live stream. And when I buy new art materials, I sort of think, yeah, people might like to see some of the materials. I know people like looking at other people's art materials. I do anyway. And you can find out about materials that you didn't know about before. So that's what this little bag here is about. So I'm going to talk about the art materials that I got in this tiny little bag. Was 50 something euros worth. And what it is uh, mostly pieces of sort of card, and I have paints and things in it as well. But we will have a look at the items one by one. Okay, so let's take out the. Sorry, I'm humping the table, and I have the camera on the table, so I should be a bit more careful. So I will be here on Friday as per usual. This is just a little extra. Okay? And our portrait workshop is on the third one on Friday, and we'll be actually painting. And this is about painting today. So these are painting materials, and they're little boards, okay? Which I haven't really shown you before. Now, I did do a short video where I showed me framing this piece. Not quite finished yet. That has to be taped on at the back. And actually, I have to cut the board down to size very, very slightly, take a sliver off the edge, which I don't really like doing. But it's painted on a painting board that somebody gave me as part of that little set that they gave me with these very old set of oil paints. And there were these painting boards as well. And I don't normally use them, but actually, as it turned out, it was perfect having small tubes of paint and the boards to paint on because I'm painting plein air a lot, haven't I? Which is, going out into the landscape and painting. So everything has to be pretty lightweight when you do that. And um, sorry, I'm just checking. Phew. Because I went live there recently, and I was live for a while, and then I had technical difficulties in the middle of it, and I went on for another half an hour, working away and talking. So I've become paranoid since then. But that painting is done on a board, right? And I have all sorts of boards here. So I was saying they're great because look at how lightweight they are, really lightweight. And they pack up nice and easily to go out and paint. And I was doing oil painting outside for the first time ever, really. I don't think I've ever gone plein air oil painting before, and I loved it. I loved it. So I still had a few little boards left from that set, but while I was in an art shop today, I said to myself, okay, I'll stock up for boards because I want to be able to lash through these things in the summer painting outside and not really worry about, oh my God, I've only got one board left. So I bought a whole load of them, and I bought a selection of different types. And this is why I thought you'd be interested in seeing it, because um, the cheapest ones I bought, these are in euros, but the cheapest ones I bought are unprepared boards. So this is like a kind of a really thick card, okay? And if you did not want to buy these, I actually brought out a thing to show you a handmade version of this. And I now can't see where I put it down. Um, this is not far off when you look at it. It's not far off the quality of a thick cardboard. It's a little bit stiffer. But the thing which I can't currently find, which I brought out to show you, and if it turns up, I will show you, um, is basically primed cardboard because you have to, if you're doing oil painting on something, uh, not with acrylics now, but with oil paints, you would have to prime the surface first, or else you're looking at the surface having all the oil sink into it, and it'll affect the quality of the paint on it, the look of the paint on it, and make it uh, not as nice to actually do the painting. but it'll also potentially rot the surface badly so that the painting won't last as long. And if you've done a nice painting, of course you want it to last. So we normally prime things. So at the cheapest one of these that I bought, only 130 for a little board like that, you would come along then with some primer that you've bought separately. And this primer, I bought it ages ago, and it was about 15 to 17 euros, which is dear, but it lasts a very long time. You can also mix that with a little bit of acrylic paint to have whatever color primed surface you want on your board. So that's a definite option. And you can do that with cardboard as well, you know. And as you saw, they are frameable. Um, so that's a nice option. Then you've got the option, which is a little bit funkier, which is a primed version. And I hope you can see without the shine, but you can't really see this too well. But this board has a kind of a more canvasy surface on it, right? Which is nice to paint on. And this is a bit dearer to reflect the fact that it's primed. Now, I don't know how good the priming layer is. I have a habit of putting another coat, one coat at least, of primer on things afterwards because I never trust that they have enough primer on it. And it's not very pleasant painting on something if they don't have enough primer on it, or if the primer is particularly slippery feeling. Some of them, I don't know what way they sprayed them on or something, and it just has some sort of plastic coating kind of a feel to it, which I don't like. But I think these would be very nice. These are Clairefontaine, and everything I buy in Clairefontaine I really like. And value wise, they're good. So I got a couple of sizes in that, and as you can see, it's a square one, which is a kind of an unusual size for painting. It's perhaps more popular on YouTube and Instagram, people showing paintings because a lot of social media things are square, so people are doing more square things now, I think. But it's nice to have different size boards or canvases to work on as well. So the boards are a little bit cheaper than canvases sometimes, and that's why even if you weren't painting outside, the idea of looking at the boards might be interesting for you. That's why I'm showing you. And so price wise, they're good, but also storage. If you weren't going to hang these up on a wall immediately and you had loads of them and you wanted to keep them, but you don't like them all enough to hang them all, um, these will go into some sort of a portfolio nicely, wouldn't they? Make your own portfolio even easy enough, and they'll slot into that. So the storage wise, um, I'm not going to switch completely to using these. They're really just for outdoor work, but um, they have their advantages. Um, and then this one is it the same price? Near enough. Yeah, 350 and 390, you see, same brand, a bigger square again, a primed canvas feel, and actually it probably is a cloth canvas overboard. So you see the way those ones were unprimed and they had nothing canvassy going on. So they have a smoother surface, these ones to paint on. But the primer, when you buy proper primer, it has a little bit of what you call a tooth on it. So it sort of grabs the paint nicer when you're painting. Um, so, you don't necessarily need canvas on something. It has to do with what feel you like when you're painting as well. So here's another size I got, which is a very long landscape size, which can be very useful when you're painting outside. If you're doing a sort of semi-panoramic view, that could be nice. And that is that brand didn't even have the brand name on it, but it's a cloth covered canvas, €2 as well. So another one the same. So I got a few the same because I wanted to have things in stock. And this is probably the fanciest one here, 490. And it's a linen look, but I'm trying to figure out, is it actually linen? I don't think it is. It doesn't say. Just says carton canvas, but it has that linen look, doesn't it? So that's a slightly coarser looking canvas, but it's still quite fine, but it would have a different feel with your paintbrushes than this would. And I think it's on primed. You can actually get a clear primer, you see. So you'd nearly have to read the back of it to figure out. Yeah, universal transparent coating. So it is a clear primer, which is an unusual thing you wouldn't think of. You would look at that and say there's no primer on it. But sometimes people like that neutral color background on things, so they like to keep it that color. But don't forget, if you're putting primer on yourself, you can make it that neutral color, adding something acrylic into your primer to create either a neutral gray or that lovely neutral mushroomy color or something. You wouldn't add oil paint into your primer, but acrylic paint would be grand in with it. So that's a nice selection of boards, and you might like to think about that idea. And even um, when you're finished sketch pads and things, even the sort of board that's on the back of sketch pads, which is just a very soft card, you can use that to paint on if you prime it, if you're using oils. About 3 coats of primer you'd need at least on those to seal it properly. So you can use what's around you. You can use cardboard and packaging and things. So you don't have to do it the mad expensive way. But I mean, it's nice and it's convenient to have the boards there ready, and I leave them in the plastic until I'm ready to use them. Or the night before, or a couple of nights before, I might come along and decide whether I want to splash more primer onto them. Yeah, I would love to know where I put down the ones I was going to show you. um, so other things that I got, another one of my favorite sketch pads, which is this heavyweight 220-gram A4 pad from Dale Rowney, who are a fantastic brand for anything. Their quality is very good, and it's a smooth paper. And this is a beautiful paper for drawing. And as you can see, if I compare it with the canvas, it's a kind of a creamy white as opposed to a stunningly white. Um, which I like. I find that very attractive. But this takes ink very nicely, and it'll put up with acrylic paint okay as well, because it's heavy, but it's not completely buckle free if you do that, but it's quite nice. So I always have one of those in stock. A4 is a nice size, and A3, a bigger size, is also a nice size. So I always make sure I have kind of a full one of those. So the last items are paints and inks. And it's amazing how little you get for 50 something euros. But, some of these things will last me quite well. The boards and everything, along with the few boards, I have about 3 boards there myself. That'll be like a summer's plein air painting, in oils there. And then I have all my sketch pads and everything I bring out. Um, so, covers me for a summer, and I don't have loads of other expensive hobbies, so I don't mind. Now, 2 are paints and one here is ink. So paint wise, right? Um, one of these is artist quality, because that was a tenner. Now these can be confusing, and I always get confused about um between see, they're both Winsor and Newton, but one is Winton and one is Artisan. I think that's the artist quality one there, and that's the cheaper one in the same brand. Um, I find the cheaper one absolutely fine. And the reason I don't really know the difference by price, the price isn't actually on that one. I don't know how much it was. I have the receipt, but the reason I don't know by price is sometimes the different colors are different prices. I was looking for Indian yellow today, which is wildly expensive. I couldn't actually get it, but I was out of cadmium yellow and was unable to get that online. So I'm thrilled I got that again. So let's all have a thrill here and do this. Can you see this? Don't you like that new tubes? Look at that. Beautiful. All the oil is coming to the top, but it's not that oily all the way down. And quite often with an artist quality one, um, it releases an awful lot of oil when you open the thing and you get this fright. You go, oh my God, that's not going to be good consistency. That one isn't as oily, you see. Um, but they're good to go and they last me, fair while as well. Depends on what kind of painting I'm doing. Now, this last one is kind of interesting because this is a new departure. And this wasn't cheap. I meant to get a whole load of things to go with this because this is for a project. And the other things were a little bit expensive and not quite what I wanted. So I'm going to have to source them online. But I bought this. This is an ink, water soluble block printing ink. And the idea is I want to do a little project with lino cut prints. And you'll see this turn up in the next uploaded video I have. I have a video to come, but it has to be edited. And I've discovered that I have a huge amount of clips in it, all very short, but just to edit them all together is going to take me ages. But uh, because I'm doing plein air painting, this is a book on the life of William Blake, a biography by Gilchrist. And I have been looking at again at Blake's woodcuts that he did for the writer Virgil, classical writer Virgil. He did them for his, I think it was a poem um, about pastoral life, and William Blake. Um, these are all public domain now, so I'll be able to include them in the video upload that I have to show you them to you better. Um, but these are all on a pastoral theme, and I love the style of them, and they're woodcuts. Now, in the set of paints and things that somebody gave me, a thing I didn't show you that was in the art materials that they passed along were these. They're little sort of woodcutty tools, but some of them are suitable for lino cuts as well. So you could do woodcuts or lino cuts in them. And haven't, I think I've only ever had a go at a lino cut once. But I've been looking it up online. It's great for finding out how to do it online. And it's doable with these. And in fact, I had a piece of kind of household lino lying around, and I managed to test them out. It's the wrong kind of lino, but I managed to test out those tools on this little piece of lino, and it'll work. I even took a little tiny print of it. And although the surface of this isn't good because it's extremely spongy, but worse than that, it's got a slight little textury thing on it, which you don't want on lino. That's basically what lino is. It's the stuff, it's flooring stuff. But you cut into it with these little tools and you roll on ink, this stuff, right? Or an oil-based ink. This is kind of, I don't know, is this a new idea? I'd never heard of this before. Water-soluble ink, which would make it less messy, I suppose, for your cleanup. And I decided not to even go with the black because I said, no, I like that old sepia look, like old books, like looking at Blake in an old book that's kind of discolored a little bit. You know, the way everything goes old and foxy colored, I want that old woodcutty kind of look off these little prints. Um, but I think I would really enjoy doing those. So I didn't buy the little, you need a little roller for rolling on the ink onto your, what's basically going to be your plate, which is like a piece of lino, say your piece, that's your piece of lino. You cut the thing into it and then you roll your ink onto it and then you put paper on it and rub the back of it with a wooden spoon or something. And basically you're lifting off the print then, you know. So, I want to buy a little small roller and a couple of small bits of lino, kind of that kind of size, and do really, really small prints, as small as I can do uh, with those tools, of pastoral themes as well. Just like Blake, I don't want to copy Blake, but I have been doing things with sheep and cows, and I have a way of drawing trees that I think would be pretty cool. Maybe with the lino thing, it might be amenable to that the style that I would need to use. I don't know till I try it. Um, but it might be amenable to that style. In fact, I think I have a bit of a drawing left. You see, I was doing a lot of work in ink, and this was that was actually for a short video I did. But that kind of simple outliney style would translate quite well into a lino print. So that's going to be my project. So the next video upload I have, which will be this week sometime, you'll see me working away, plein air, drawing and painting, and that's what I'm working towards. I'm getting sort of drawings as research towards those doing those lino prints, because I want to have trees and cows and sheep and things like that as my subject matter for them. So, and you'll get to see the better version. You'll get to see Blake, who just does it so beautifully in the actual video. I'll stick a few of the Blake prints in to show you, because I think these things should be seen again and again. And, new generations come along and they might forget some of the things. I didn't know about them until I read that little biography, and that book has become a firm favorite with me as a result. So that is coming up in the next few days. And basically, you'll see things like, a quick preview there, these kind of things in the video. But give me a few days to edit it, because I have to make a couple of days rush at it, at the editing, to get my head together to do it. And I need long blocks of time to do it. So that was the unboxing or unbagging of some of the art materials, and that's towards my printing thing. So I'll have to go online and try and source the rest of the materials for that. But it's not, it shouldn't be something I need loads and loads of materials for. So when I do that project, I will show you the materials for that. The other thing I'll do is I might even do a short video on this to show people the boards if I get it together. So apologies if something turns up later in the day and you have seen this live stream and you see a short turning up later on about buying these boards. You get different kinds of audiences watching different videos on the channel. Not everybody gets over to see the live. And I don't know that I'm not sure if I like it that it's on a different tab, because my lives get much fewer viewers than the uploads. Then again, the uploads, I bring you off places, don't I? So on the next upload, I'm bringing you off for a picnic as well as painting, my first picnic of the year, because I was out all day painting this time. So summer is really here. I can hear somebody mowing the grass outside, and I mean to do an awful lot of painting and loads of projects now that the summer is here. Can't wait to get going on more stuff. Okay, so I'll see you on Friday on this tab then, and look out for a new video upload in the next few days. Bye bye.